Welcome to week 4. This week you're going to be working on the sounding product task, making a radio advertisement, podcast advertisement, an advertisement that just relies on sound. But before we get into more considerations about sound and a little bit of lecture with some theories and tools that might help you with this project, it's family time. Hi, hey, yo. This is again week 4, and what we're going to be talking about is just sound and a little bit more of the theories and ideas that I think can help you with your next project, sounding a product. But first, let's check out sounding a product and make sure that we're all on the same page with regards to what's due when. If we go into Blackboard to Module 4, sounding a product, and just scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the assignment directions. Make sure that you focus on the details here. So, save it as MP3. I've got the software that you can use to design it. Now, if there's other software that you feel comfortable with, certainly you can use that. But for this project, if you would like to use Capwing, you certainly can. And I've got up here software tutorials to help you figure out how to do that. Some things to keep in mind for this project are using sound image resources. So these are things that are available that have Creative Commons license that let you borrow and use the sounds. Again, 20 to 35 seconds. And then for this one, it's a little bit different. Use a 300 to 500 word description about where you place the spot. Like the station, radio station, if it's a podcast, what shows it between, where is it, maybe when is it, and how does it connect to the poster that you made? So we're kind of trying to connect these 3 different products, each one focusing on a different mode and media. First, I think that something that's really important for thinking about sound is denotation and connotation. These might be review for you, but I think that these concepts are really important, in particular connotation, for when you're starting to design your advertisement for your product. A lot of you watched the TED Talk featuring Treasure talking about the ways that sound can affect you. The speaker mentioned that it can affect you physiologically, which is like the body reacting. You may not have control over it. Psychologically, and the way he was using it was like more like emotional. Cognitively, like your focus, what do you want to pay attention to? And behaviorally, like, do I turn the sound up? Do I start tapping my fingers? Maybe I dance. Connotation is a really good way to control these sorts of ways that sound can affect you. In particular, I think the psychological, the cognitive, and the behavioral, especially when we're thinking about the connotations of particular sounds. I think that you can have some control over that when you're thinking about your audience. So denotation and connotation. Denotation is the literal and detailed description of a meaning, word, or object, and connotation are the cultural meanings, the myths connected to words and things. And when you think about it, denotation is really a connotation, right? It's this idea that there even could be a literal and detailed description of something. So it's almost like when you read it that way, it's kind of a cultural myth that this is the denotation. I know that gets a little confusing. But anyway, just keep in mind the connotation is really important. In visual images, connotation can be seen like with logos. You can see how the current or the latest, one of the latest My Little Pony logos is a lot different from earlier My Little Pony logos. So what they're really leaning into is, traditional or stereotypical sort of girl culture with the hearts and the pinks, sort of a monochrome of pink. And then My Little Pony from the past didn't really do that, not with the hearts or anything. And they have like, rainbow, that rainbow, which includes a lot more focused on the pink. So again, you've got these different connotations just being made in these 2 different uses of imagery. One highly focused on, that the cultural myths associated with, right, being a girl. And then again, it's almost like they're constructing it too, as they start, repeating this and using this. Even the typefaces are a lot different, where the My Little Pony one really is reaching for kids with those rounded typeface, and then the older one is using typefaces that are a little bit more, I guess, formal, you could say. You can see this even with the Green Terror, this sort of connotation with regards to time, where the older Green Terror kind of looks like something drawn from the 80s or the 90s, that sort of thing. And the new Green Terror really looks like a more current logo of teams that you'll find. But again, you can see how there's these connotations with related to time and what they can even mean. One looks, I think, just has that connotation of being something that you'd be scared of, trying to get you. And then the other one, right, it doesn't seem quite as scary, just because it does have that logo connotation. The denotations of these, you could argue, would be the same, just like on the previous one, where these are just logos. That's all. You could just describe them like that. But the connotations, again, are the things that are really different. I don't know if anybody else got a chance to play with this. I know Gilbert did, but this is something that will help you just understand a little bit more about how connotations work with regards to advertising and sounds. So we talked about it with images, and I think that's kind of a good jumping off place. So again, I encourage you to play around with this. It's the HTML5 gendered advertising remixer. And what you do is you drag things over here, and you mash them up. So let's just do an example.
It's a great big jet in the sky. Walk the runway, yeah, we rock it. It's a fashion runway in the sky. Polly Pocket Jumbo Jet comes with all this. You put it together. Other dolls each sold separately.
Okay, and then we'll swap it, mash it up.
The Transformers War is here, and both sides can change from vehicle to blaster in an instant. Decepticons conquer the skies with the Starscream Barrel Roll Blaster. Autobots rule the roads with the Optimus Prime Battle Rig Blaster. Transformers, each sold separately.
Let's do another one. I'll clear it, and I'll just show you a little bit more how it functions. So we could grab maybe this G.I. Joe. We'll use the audio, and then we'll grab audio of, I'm not sure what this is. All right, mash them up.
The G.I. Joe Pit Mobile Headquarters converts into a massive battle station, always ready for action. G.I. Joe. Are you in? You can join today at GIJoe.com.
That place, that figured, and vehicle sold separate. Batteries not included. Adult assembly required. Ask the parent before going online.
Forever Kids Pets. It's Snap-on Fashion Play. Snap-on Pets Fashion too. Match and snap, snap away. Forever Kids, snap away. Forever Kids Pets dolls, part of the Forever Kids Snap-on world. Each sold separately.
All right, we'll just do one more.
Nerf. The new Nerf Stampede ECS with full auto blasting and 60 darts.
Nerf? Ain't nothing.
Nerf Stampede ECS.
Batteries not included. Each sold separately.
Nerf.
Neopop is the friend you love and take care of. See in his eyes 100 different ways his feelings show.
I love you, Neopop.
Neopop, the future of friendship. Each sold separately.
So again, I think as you listen to these, and if you go and play around, you can hear how the sounds are different for ads targeting boys and ads targeting girls. Now, with keeping this in mind, this is up to you. What are the decisions you're going to make in who you're targeting? Are you going to, play with these, traditional sounds, these traditional tropes, or do you want to maybe juxtapose them with other things or change them and challenge these sort of these sounds that are used? The different music, different music, the pacing, the voices even, and what's being said. So you've got the linguistic mode mixed with the sounds, the music, and the voices. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about how you're creating your ad. And what is done with this project, the HTML5 gender remixer, is just juxtaposing these ideas. So you can do something similar like that, juxtaposing different music, using different mixed music that may not fit that more traditional sort of ads targeting girls or boys. And then maybe you could even contrast them just to make a new argument. And what's really cool about that, right, you're placing these things side by side or close together, and it starts to make an argument so that you can see the contrasting and comparing effects of things. So here's an example that I use in a digital publishing class that I teach that's focused on sports. And something that, you know, a lot of times people forget about is how you can compare cheerleading and like wide receiving in the NFL, just how they're very athletic, and gymnastics and the things that they're able to do with their bodies. And I think it's kind of interesting to juxtapose this, just to keep in mind that both of these, though they are different sports, require tremendous amounts of athletic ability and balance. You know, when you juxtapose things, you can start to see these, and putting them together can help people recognize just how similar these different sports are. I also offer you this really simple possible outline. Now, you don't have to follow this, but this is just something that you may find helpful when you're designing this. Just to have an intro, description, evidence, and call to action, things to include, and then maybe some outro music or something that indicates that it's over. A couple other things to consider are just the connotations of the words that you're using, if you're going to keep them positive, and also what items, what words, what language do you want to repeat. Language you really want your audience to remember. So that's it for today. It was a short lecture. I hope these concepts, I hope thinking about juxtaposition, going back and thinking about connotation and what you're going to be doing with how you're going to be connoting sounds is going to help you when you're designing your sounding and product. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you have fun. And I look forward to, I sound forward to hearing your product this week. Take care, and if you do need any assistance from me or anything like that, please contact me through email, ask questions, or if you want to, make an appointment with me and we can meet virtually and just chat about your project. All right, take care.